Carpe's Corner, so happy that you're here. So take a seat, have a tea, or grab yourself a beer. Here at Carpe's Corner, we'll learn about our lives. And in between, you might decide to exercise your rights. It's Carpe's Corner. Carpe's Corner. Welcome to Carpe's Corner. Don't forget reviews. Comment, like, and subscribe is all you gotta do. Here at Carpe's Corner, please appreciate our guests. And just remember, everyone's got something on their chest. In Carpe's Corner. Carpe's Corner. In Carpe's Corner, there'll be no borders. It's Carpe's Corner. We're so glad that you are here.
Hello. So, if you were looking at the titles, you'll notice that the titles have changed. And Milo is not here. So I had to do a rush job, and I called my buddy here. So I've got Kurt Schlichter with me. Hold on one second.
You call Kurt Schlichter. All right, I'm not because first of all, I'm unwilling to devote my entire ass to any endeavor that I'm not getting paid for, and I don't think I'm getting paid for this.
So
you got
how much
one
time did
sheet.
I give you? I gave you what?
You
About
said 40 minutes.
I
Oh,
did.
to get ready. You
to
gave
get
me
ready.
like 5.
Yeah, I gave you like
Sitting in
5
bed.
minutes.
We're about to go watch a movie, and I'm like, "Hey, Carpe needs me. He needs me." It's like, hey, you won't believe it, but Milo didn't show up as promised. And
Yeah,
she's like, what? I'm like, yeah,
We'll be having that
Really?
conversation later, I'm sure.
yeah.
That's a conversation for about
On a related note,
yeah. So
that Chateau Lateau Rockstar, I think it's 2013. Good stuff. Go buy.
did your
Guy's a
wife
conservative?
did your wife get the grill started?
She's trying to get the little heater. You could hear it in the background. The thing is, she's in a domestic mode, so she likes to do stuff. So she's like, "Hey, we have things. Let's use them. And I'm
Use
like-
them.
I was like, "It's cold." She's like, "I got a heater. We'll use the heater." And I'm like over here, so I can't help.
So it's
So
always
she's over there.
that's
fighting
weird.
with these propane bottles.
I never think of people needing to get a heater going in California, especially in the middle
Yeah,
of summer. But
I don't even know if it's needed. She just wants to use the stuff she has. She's like, "I got the heater refurbished. You're freaking getting heated."
so guess I heard something the other day about you, and it was actually good for once.
What? Was it
Yeah, I
about
know.
my potency? Because I'm super potent.
You know, that was a separate conversation, but yes, I did hear
She's
about
got
that.
it lit. I would show it to you, but if I show her on camera, she gets pissed.
Oh well,
She'll
we
be
don't
like,
want to do that.
Stop it. Let me check the lighting. Is the lighting working? But she has got the heater going, and it's now warm. By the way, at various points, I'm going to introduce the dogs to the people as you talk. So
Well, it's fine.
Yeah.
Whatever is going to help you to sort of get into the
to be
zone.
more comfortable,
Yeah.
to loosen up. You're going to show me your etchings, throw in a smoking jacket. We'll split a couple Harvey Bristol creams.
I left my
It'll be a
smoking
nice
jacket
night.
at the other house.
It'll be a nice night.
I left my smoking jacket at the other house, and the other house is owned by somebody who's got more money than me.
I like that Starry Star Wars night.
Yeah,
That's nice.
it's when you really want to look kind of dressed up.
Yeah, I'm glad you're wearing your formal tee.
Well, I mean, this is formal compared to some of them.
Well,
But
I'm wearing pants, so bravo to me for once.
well, no one knows if I'm wearing pants or not, but we'll just leave that as a mystery. But I heard that you had a book and it came out recently.
I did, and I should have a copy with me to pimp it like Huggy Bear putting his hose on the street, saying, "Give me your money, bitch."
Well, yeah, you should.
It's 21 biggest lies about Donald Trump and you people should go buy it. Why? Well, it's been hailed as one of the books of 2020, and it has also been hailed as in English. So here it is.
Did you say it's been hailed as one of the books?
Yes, it is one of the books of
Okay,
2020.
it's one of the books of 2020. All right.
So, actually, I got the first sales figures, and Regnery's very happy with it.
Well, there you go. That's good.
I didn't quite do Mary Trump numbers.
Well, that's a pretty big one.
She's going to do okay. She's never going to have to look for pocket change to make a trip to Golden Corral again.
Have you actually read that book? Or
no,
perused
and
it?
I stuck my cock in a cheese grater.
So
really, why would I want to spend time with that shifty gelatinous cube? There you go, Dungeons and Dragons people. Eat that.
So Scott
By the way,
Scott
I'm
Adams,
chaotic evil.
you're chaotic evil. Scott Adams said that all you need to do is watch her for 10 seconds, an interview for 10 seconds with her, and then you'll understand why you should never buy her book.
Well, I'm a trial lawyer. I just saw about 3 seconds of it, and she got one of these. and it could be worse if there was like music going on,
right?
And she's
she like the dog with the shifty eyes.
Well, pretty much, she's going to put on a black cape, a black floppy hat, and then sneak out on her tiptoes with a sack with a $sign on it. Okay, she looks like she's like the literary Hamburglar.
Excellent. I'll have to watch that.
She's kind of shaped like the Grimace. The Grimace. I want to throw.
What happened to the Grimace? What happened to that whole team? That whole team kind of disappeared?
I think now with this whole fat shaming thing, I think you bring back the Grimace and celebrate his heft.
Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't you?
I mean, look, the Grimace is like, look, I drink shakes. That's who I am. And if you don't love me, think of me as the carbohydrate Lizzo.
The Grimace wasn't sort of an amorphous looking like bell shaped thing?
Yeah,
isn't that what it was? It was like purple.
Jabba the Hutt's kind of touched in the head brother.
Or like the Philly Fanatic, but just had that was shaved. That was shaved.
Yeah, he was shaved. He was very smooth, and that was one of the things that made him so sensual. Yeah, dude, what are the chances? And here's what I want. You got a lot of people watching you, and that's groovy. I want someone out there to see if there is any Grimace porno fanfic.
Oh my God, I don't want that. I don't want that coming.
I just want to know if there is, because I accidentally had some optimism about the future of the human race a little while ago, and I want to squash that before it takes hold.
Yeah, I don't want to put those vibes out there because someone will send me that in my DMs. That will immediately show up in my DMs.
As a joke, I once said, I wonder if there's Scooby-Doo fanfic porno. There is.
Yes.
And it's not what you think. You would think it was like, Daphne and Velma, exploring their womanhood together in a beautiful thing.
Yeah, somebody said Rule 34.
She's kind of gross.
Yeah. Rule 34 of the internet. If you can think of it or imagine it, there's porn of it.
Well, the problem though is Scooby was always involved.
Oh,
and
God.
Let me just throw out 2 words: Scooby snack. And there are limits to what my browser history can handle.
Your browser history is just like a constant dumpster fire.
No, not constant. Actually, it's quite boring. I have the feeling the guy from the NSA checking my shit out is going to be like, he's a fucking Insta pundit again. Does this guy ever get laid? You can hear my wife yelling at my kids, so that's great.
Wow. At least she got part of it now.
Man. Buy that book.
So if I don't want to buy it, why don't you just tell me what all 21 are?
Because look, dude, I have done 60 or 70 hits. And they said, I didn't realize it. I was like to my publicist, why is everybody asking me the same question? He's like, I can see it over the fucking text. He's like, oh my God, this old guy is fucking stupid. Dude, I sent them questions to ask you. And I'm like, It's like, what's the biggest lie about Donald Trump? Tell me about certain lies. Trump is racist. Trump is sexist. Trump has a tiny penis.
Is that one of your lies in there?
That would have been lie 26.
That should have been
that Trump's not hung like Secretariat. Wait,
and
don't
explain it at all, like how just be like just leave it as like a one sentence chapter. You're like, it's not small, believe me, I know. And then just don't explain it at all.
I've heard.
Well, hopefully this is your favorite hit, because you can just say whatever you want.
Yeah, it's pretty much my favorite right now because I've got wine. Because you won't believe it, but some of these people frown on people like, pounding
drinking
while they're doing the thing. And another thing.
Yeah, I'm guessing that probably wouldn't go over very well with like Fox News or.
I gotta do. I think I'm doing Jesse Waters tomorrow. This weekend.
Yeah.
So I have to behave for that, which I will. My feeling is always, be cool. Don't be a dick. That's why, like, I don't freak out when I have to wear a mask inside a store. If the guy at the store says wear a mask, man, it's his fucking store. I'll either go in or I'll be cool. And I don't know if this guy's had cancer or freaking some other shit. It's like, dude, I'll put on the fucking mask. It's your place. I don't wear one around my office.
Yeah.
Did
you see my masks?
I haven't. You got masks?
I've got
masks. If you have masks, I want them.
All right, so
I get a complimentary
here's
mask?
mask number 1.
Can I? Oh my god! Oh, that's freaking me out.
So there's mask number 1.
It's like Alien chomping on freaking Yaphet Kotto. Oh, wow. Oh wait, I thought that was
Conan.
What's her name? Sandra Bergdahl, not because there were breasts. Meme where I like that. That's beautiful. Man, you got the masks, man. I got a camouflage one, but that's CarpeDonktum. Oh, I love that. I want to get one that says "I am Kurt."
Yeah, I had them made just because I wanted to have them made. If my feeling on it is like I'm not gonna put it on unless they ask me to, and if they ask me to, I'm gonna make them feel just as uncomfortable as I feel.
Well, I think that's proper.
I think it's a fair trade.
Proper. By the way, I got this is Barky. By the way,
it's a very clever name. How did you come up with it? Can you tell me the backstory on Barky?
Barky doesn't bark as much as Bitey does. He bites more than Barky. Look, you know me. I try to upend expectations.
Right.
Actually, the last dog I had up here knocked my thing off. So you be gone.
Oh yeah, when I thought you got hit by a meteor. Yeah.
I know. All of a sudden, the thing's all spinning, and it's
like
there's this dog going,
just out of nowhere. Like his camera just starts like tumbling, and he's freaking out, and there's noises all over the place. I really did think that perhaps there had been some sort of catastrophic earthquake or who knows what. But
did Kurt get hacked? Yes, I did. Well, no, I didn't get hacked, but I got shut up. I'm answering questions for you.
Oh well, it's fine.
Off the side.
I try to do the comments sometimes, and sometimes other times to just.
If I see one that's interesting, I will.
Yeah,
I will mention it. How many people are watching this?
I don't know. I don't keep track. Enough.
There's not like a number somewhere?
Well, like there's like 30 or 40 people on Facebook. There's a bunch on Periscope.
Oh, okay.
It's streaming on 5 platforms at the same time.
Wow. So that's we're this is basically an orgy.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah.
Okay, guys, just find a hole and stuff something into it.
Let me see. We might get a little bit of feedback on Periscope. There we go. There's like 85 on Periscope. So
all right, so we got a few people.
Yeah,
this is your attorney says.
This is a lot harder for me to get people on Periscope now because I can't share it out to Twitter anymore.
Oh, so people don't actually.
So yeah, hey, you guys on Periscope, share this shit out so that I get more people on Periscope.
We could have done my Periscope. I wasn't enough of a threat to get rid of.
They just haven't gotten around to you yet, I'm sure. But I call
there are a number of reasons it would be a poor idea to get a shareholder who's got 10 lawyers working for him
and is a lawyer himself.
and is a lawyer himself. That's
Yeah.
probably especially who does a lot of California consumer law.
Yeah, I would think that would not be a good idea to do.
I might be problematic. You know, I think that it's so much like we were talking about the masks. In so much of life, if you're just cool, shit's easier. If Twitter was just like, nah, we're not going to fuck with people who say things that we don't like because that's not cool. They would have minimal. No one would be like regulate the fucking tech companies.
No,
they'd be like, oh, leave them alone, man. They're just
like if all you were doing was kicking off like literal Nazis, that's people would be fine.
Well, you know, freak pedophiles and that kind of shit.
Well, no, but
if they're doing that, nobody's gonna be mad. You know, the guy who gets on there every time somebody's Jewish and starts, you know, doing the Horst Wessel song. Yeah, I could see people actually harassing. But you know, dude, just be cool. Just be cool with everyone. You should kick him off because he said things I don't like. Yeah, sorry about that. But, you know,
he made a video about toddlers. He made a video about racist toddlers. We should kick him off.
Oh gosh, it was hilarious too.
Oh my god, they're so ridiculous. And so we're now we're on week 4 now, I think, of not being sued. I think it's week 4 now.
Oh yeah, they threatened to sue you. That would be that's interesting. You know, I was Ben Shapiro's lawyer in his defamation thing.
Were you?
Clockboy sued him.
Did you know his wife's a doctor?
He also went to Harvard. There are a couple things you learn about Ben very quickly.
Yeah.
Or as I like to call it, the Correspondence College of Cambridge.
That's nice of you.
Yeah. So
where did you go to school?
Taking us back to the barn. I don't know what the fuck that is. Is that a euphemism?
Did you go live at some barn someplace on vacation or something like a year ago?
Yeah, because you know who belongs in a rural setting? Kurt.
Yeah.
All right. I like to tell did you know my BMW has a trailer hitch?
That was the first thing that I thought when I saw you.
With it.
When I met you, I was like, this guy probably hangs out with cowboys.
Yeah, well, the music from Green Acres starts playing in my head. You know, here's Kurt. Maybe I'd be Eddie Albert in that.
Now you're doing the reference thing where I don't remember all of the characters. I remember what Green Acres is, but
just go with it, man. Assume I'm funny. When I was doing stand up, I got up in front there and I would do workshops. Right, once a week I'd go in and we'd all perform for a few minutes, and then we'd write for people. And everyone wanted to write with me because I know how to write a fucking joke, and I can write for anyone. I write really fast. But I was up there, and I'm like, yeah, these guys, they liked them better than they loved him like Jerry Lewis, like the French loved Jerry Lewis. Everybody's fucking silent. I'm like, the French love Jerry Lewis. They're all looking at me like I'm fucking insane. And I'm like, okay, here's the joke chalkboard. And I literally pull down the joke chalkboard. I'm like, the French, they think Jerry Lewis is funny. This is funny because Jerry Lewis is not funny, but the French think he is. So therefore, Jerry Lewis being loved by the French is inherently funny. Do you understand? Have I explained it and diagrammed it out on the joke chalkboard for you? So
well, see, your explanation was funnier than the joke.
No, the joke was fucking funny. The joke fit. It was in context. It worked very well. I'm just not telling it well. You missed the fucking prior 5 minutes of riffing. But I will defend my Jerry Lewis and the French joke too.
You're doing the Principal Skinner right now. It's the children that are wrong.
Sometimes the children are little assholes. All right. I always saw that scene. I was like, Skinner may be right. They are little dicks. A lot of them are kind of stupid. If you don't know about Jerry Lewis and the fucking French, I can't help you. You're not going to want to come to a Kurt show. Well, I don't do shows anymore. I do. Why don't you do speeches? Because stand-up comedy is a very specific form, in the sense that it requires me to go hang around smoky bars with people who aren't funny while my wife gets pissed at me. I don't want to do any of that shit. I remember I go, and the most agonizing part was not going on stage. A lot of people are like, I'm so terrified to go on stage. You pussies. Fucking get up there and do your thing. God, be a man. Shit, I'd already been in a freaking war by the time I was doing it. It's like, this shit's easy. The hardest part is dealing with the fucking other comics who are not funny. And most of them live in fucking chaos. I was the guy, I had a real job. I was always there. I was never I would never drink before I did a set.
Right.
You know, I was always there. I fucking, yeah, people be there for me. My shit was always squared away. They knew they could call me. I would go up. I'd get it done. And the rest of the comics are like, blah! You know, I can't come in. I've lost my shoe again. You know, and it's like, you know, there was one comic who literally would not, she was female and she had been a child star. She would not tell us her real name. And she got mad when she was like dating a guy. And he's like, I can't believe it. He asked my name. And I was like, that's a funny bit. And she's like, bit? What do you mean?
What, she was like under a pseudonym?
Yeah, she was under a pseudonym.
Like Carrot Top?
Yes.
Like that,
Except,
okay.
But I will give you guys a hint. If you've ever seen the movie, what is it? Is it Sleepaway Camp? Slumber Party Massacre 2.
No, nobody's ever seen that movie.
Slumber Party Massacre 2. She was the girl who said, don't go all the way. Because if you go all the way, you get massacred at the slumber party.
Okay, well.
So that was her.
Well, I mean.
Don't go all the way. That's
clearly she was a big star and you were the problem here.
Yeah, I was fucked up. But anyway, but yeah, I resolved never to explain myself, and it's worked pretty well. People read my town hall columns. I make all the references I want. The people at town hall just let them pass, and people go, "Hey, it's funny," or they go, "I don't know what the hell you meant," and I'm like,
yeah,
I don't know. I you know, if I don't find it funny, why the fuck should I do? You find your shit funny. You don't do anything you don't think is funny.
No, actually, so when I make something, I usually spend so much time like going back and forth, like watching it over and over again as I'm making it, that by the time it's done, I'm like, I don't even know if this is funny anymore. It doesn't.
There goes my ear thing. Hi, I'm Kurt. After 60 of these, I'm still a fucking moron.
I've had this much wine and I'm already throwing stuff out of my ears.
And another thing. Look at that. It's almost a quarter left.
But yeah, like I don't even know if it's funny anymore because I've seen it so many times that by the end I have to be like, is this funny?
Yeah, because I edit pretty heavily. I'll go over the thing several times. I'll shape a joke because jokes have to be written in a very specific way. If you read my stuff and you understand joke structure, you'll see I write prose when I'm doing columns. I write prose, and in the book, The 21 Biggest Lies of Donald Trump and You.
There you go. You got it.
Yeah. There it is. Marketing people, please release my family. I've done your bidding. I do write in joke structure. So the laugh will be at the end, typically at the end of the sentence or one or two words in. So you drag them, you don't get them laughing during the sentence because then that steps on the rest of the sentence. You do it at the end of the sentence. It becomes unconscious. So if you read my stuff and you know traditional joke structure, you can't unsee it. You're like, holy shit, Kurt's doing a set.
Right.
And if you're doing a good set, not one of these shitty comics who's like, I'm not really a traditional comic. I'm a storyteller, which means they're not a fucking comic. If you're doing a traditional set, everything is either a setup, a punchline, or a tag, right?
Yeah.
Setup, punch, or tag. You're either setting up a joke, telling a joke, or hitting off a joke for another joke.
Well, the best comics always loop back, like in they end on something. Yeah.
Bingo.
Yeah, and those are always my favorite.
Callback.
Yeah, callback. Yeah.
Well, what it does is the way it works, and it's especially effective if it's something you've done, you've improvised, and you come back to it. For instance, if I come back later to Jerry Lewis, because that's a special bond we share, that's going to be even more funny. Now, if I'd gone the full way and gone down the road of The Day the Clown Cried, his concentration camp comedy, there could have been some laughs. Because it's such a bad movie. It was so bad he hid it. But nobody knows about that. I'm not gonna waste that gold here.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that movie.
You haven't. He got all the negatives and locked it up. There are like 10 people on Earth who have seen The Day the Clown Cried. It's like you have to be like a scholar. It's like the Necronomicon of movie, you gotta go to the Arkham University Library, get the special, dungeon key to go read it, unless you cast a spell and call Cthulhu into our multiverse. And it's literally that bad a movie. I've never seen it. I've heard legends, but anything Jerry Lewis does is inherently terrible and funny.
Who's your favorite comic then?
I don't have Dennis Miller. But I don't really consider him a comic. He's more of a funny guy.
He's always had his own style. Like he's different than he's more of like a Bill Maher type of person, but funnier.
He is unbelievably funny. And here's how I torture myself. I listen to his podcast on twice speed. So he's twice as quick.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I'm just walking along and he'll just drop into a Symbionese Liberation Army riff. And he'll be like name checking Sin Q. And I'll be like, fuck, he's killing it. And it's like, I can't even keep up. I mean, I do we're all Tanya and robbing a Crocker Bank in San Francisco, but I can't get there because it's twice as fast. I can't even speak the words.
Well,
I'm walking,
he was always one.
Look at me like I'm a lunatic.
He was always one that like I would get about half the references, and I would come away with just thinking, oh, he's a lot smarter than I am. He knows a lot more he knows a lot more things than I do.
He fucking knows shit.
Yeah.
And I mean, we ended up talking about how he went to last time I did his show, and I'm doing his show next week. Last time I did his show, we ended up talking about how he like went to the bridge over River Kwai in like Sri Lanka, and he like found out the bridge was like an hour or two away, so he hired a guy to take him there to go see where they filmed the bridge over the River Kwai thing.
Not the actual bridge.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The one that they blew up in
the one that. Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, and he, it was just, and we're just going on for 10 minutes on this thing, and it's the most, freaking narrow thing. But the more specific you are in comedy, as you know, the funnier you are.
Right.
It's got to be specific. That's why instead of saying then he bought me a soda pop. No, it's got to be you bought me a Coke, or better yet, a Pepsi, or even better, a Mr. Pibb.
Well, yeah. Get something that's not around anymore, like Mr. Pibb.
Well, you want to get something that makes people go, "Oh yeah,
I remember that.
I remember Mr. Pibb
and My Little Ponies." You don't remember My Little Ponies, do you?
Oh, I had a. Oh, did I
I'm sure you had a collection.
How I got into war with the bronies. That was Kurt. That was my breakout moment. I was writing for Breitbart, and Andrew had brought me in, and I was at some event in Charlotte with my wife, and I saw this thing about bronies. I didn't even know they existed. And I wrote this, America's Greatest Threat. These sissies dressing up and calling themselves bronies. And I just freaking lambasted. And you can find it on Breitbart. It still holds up. It's pretty funny. And I just got this fussy furor aimed at me. There is a YouTube video where somebody, with a unicorn horn spends 10 minutes talking about how bad I am because I don't respect bronies. So naturally, I adopted the persona of Starfire Cuddlecakes, a pink unicorn of love.
Well, naturally.
Conservatism. And I did that for a while. That was an interesting departure.
This is something sort of about like Twitter and things like that, but it is always. It's always so fun to me to see people like attack me or attack like you, and then to go look at what they look like or what like go look at their profile, and you're just like how does someone get this disconnected from reality where they're like, oh, you're the crazy stupid one when they're like, you go look at their profile picture and it's just like it's them and it's like a sort of cartoonish drawing, and it's black and white, and it's in front of like a giant unicorn, or like there's a bunch of like what just like what?
Yeah, and they've got pronouns, and the pronouns are
right,
sniz and ploob, and you're like,
and it's not even ironic. It's like, real.
I'm snib. My pronoun's snib.
If you don't say "zer," you will be banned, sir.
Yeah. Respect my pronouns. and there are also people who've never been told no. They're like, you're transphobic. Well, if you mean it, I think there are men and women. Stop. Yeah, I guess that then your definition would fit if that's the definition.
Well,
What?
if your definition of transphobic is that I don't want to sleep with a dude, then yes.
Oh my gosh, I love those things. That you're like
Yep.
you're a transphobe if you don't want to sleep with someone who's pretending to be the sex that you would normally not.
Those
sleep with.
articles are so funny. Like it's
It's
always
funny.
like BuzzFeed, or it's like
Yeah.
it's one of those things, and they're like,
I know.
if you,
I just want to know the name of the guy who read that and goes, "What a powerful and persuasive argument." I need to find myself a transsexual.
yeah, you know, they're sitting inside of their little bubble, and they're like, you know what? I bet everyone is going to really like this article where I accuse like 80% of the population of being transphobic.
No, like 99.
yeah, like all right, 99. But
and here's the funny thing. I think the only transsexuals I actually know in real life are on Twitter, and that's not quite real life. I mean, there's like one or two on Twitter who are like, "Yeah, man, I suffer from gender dysphoria," and it's like, "Oh, hey, man, let me know. I can."
I don't think I even know any on. Well, not. I'm not friends with any of them, but like I don't see them.
Yeah, well, I mean, I see them when I get attacked, which I think is like 4 of them taking shit, creating new.
Oh no, I know one. Emily something or other. She kept attacking me and trying to dox me last year from Germany. So that's I do know one.
Germans have never been assholes.
No, not ever. Apparently, she's an American, but she lives in Germany. That's
I was
what
an American who lived in Germany. I got the fuck out.
And then the funniest part was like a couple months later, I named a few people that were known doxers, and Emily DM'd me and was like, "Why are you calling me out?" And I was like, "Because you tried to dox me." And she's like, "But that's just mean. You can't do that. You can't call me that." And I'm like, "What planet are you on?"
Well, yeah. One of the things about the left is they're very interested in destroying all the old rules, while simultaneously depending on the old rules to protect themselves.
Oh yeah,
they want to destroy the status quo for everyone else, but for them they want to keep it the same. And when you don't play their game, they get really super upset, and it's kind of funny.
Well, like
because it increases their pain, which I'm for.
So my buddy Luke O'Brien from the Huffington Post, his thing would be he would go and attack me and call me a white supremacist, and then when I would quote tweet him, then he would accuse all of my followers of harassing him, and I was just like, really?
That's my favorite thing.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's like, well, what? Luke, you're saying my followers are harassing you. What do you expect my reaction to be?
Right.
Should I send each of them a DM asking them, please leave Luke alone so he can get back to fucking with me?
Well, should I tell them all like?
Am I supposed to be upset? What, Luke? Spell out the words you wish to hear from my mouth in response to your people are picking on me. What do you think I'm going to say? I love asking them to get to the, let's get real, get down to the point. Tell me the words you expect me to speak, because I would like to know. I'm not saying I'll do it. I'm just saying I'm fascinated.
I would love to hear them.
Expect it.
Yeah. I would love to know that you could actually articulate what it is you want. That would be amazing.
Yes, I want you to diagram out. Give me a Venn diagram of your fucking thought process about how you think this works, and it drives them nuts.
Well, they can't do it.
Well, that piece of shit, those pieces of shit at the Bulwark wrote that my novels, as opposed to my nonfiction triumph, 21 Biggest Lies About Donald Trump and You, which you all should buy. My novels are about a dystopian America splits into red and blue, and frankly, a lot of the shit seems to be coming true.
Yeah.
One of their sexless drones, I think it was Charlie Sykes, wrote this long thing of it, and I haven't read the whole thing because it was lame. But he basically said, "Well, you're racist." Now, I think that's an interesting trick when the hero saves a group of Orthodox Jewish people in the first book from liberals. But
Right.
you be you.
Yeah.
But he caught race, and Bill Crystal has to pipe in. It's terrible how normal mainstream conservatives have praised Schlichter's appalling books. Conservatives should be ashamed. And I took that, and it's on the blurb page of Collapse, my fourth one.
Yeah. Bill Crystal.
They're like, wait a minute, you didn't take me seriously? You didn't allow yourself to be canceled? What?
How dare you?
Fucking sissies.
How dare you fight back?
Yeah, I was planning on sending him a copy of 21 Biggest Lies About Donald Trump and You.
Yeah.
I was going to go, hey, Bill, go fuck yourself. Kurt. This is what a book that sells looks like.
Full disclosure, I'm getting paid $10 for every time that he gets to advertise his book.
Not by me.
We'll talk about it later, I guess.
What?
But so in this same vein of the left freaking out when we apply rules to them, it's the same thing that they do with Trump. When they attack him 24/7, and then they're like, "Oh my God, no! He just said something mean on the internet," and you're like, "What do you think calling him a white supremacist was? Was that mean?"
What's he supposed to do? What do you think his reaction's supposed to be? Hang his head in shame? Yeah, that sounds like Don.
Yeah. Well, if he did that, then they'd be like, today was just a terrible day. The president went out to the Rose Garden and held his head in shame. This is something that you should never see from a president. So he can't win.
See, the thing, and he doesn't. The thing is, he doesn't play their game. He knows them better than anyone else, right?
Oh, yeah.
He was one of these elites, and they loved him because he was rich and he had money, and you could fly on his planes and go to his resorts, and there were pretty girls. There was media there. They loved Donald Trump. Then they realized that Donald Trump thought they were fucking worthless. That's one of his biggest crimes. He knows them better than any of us ever will, and he's got the elite, and he thinks they're fucking garbage, and he absolutely refuses to pretend they're not.
Yeah, he knows they're garbage.
He knows they're garbage, and he will not pretend that they aren't, and it blows their minds. It's the disrespect. They can't believe it, and they're sensitive. I always say these guys, the guys who run our institutions now, our liberal elite, they're like the third generation of the Rockefellers or the Fords. Now, we all knew Henry Ford or John D. Rockefeller. And back in the 60s, you don't know any of the modern Rockefellers or Fords. The last Rockefeller you heard of was the guy who got eaten by cannibals in 1962. Okay?
And I don't even know him.
He made a fucking impact. But the rest of them are fucking living on, essentially our elite is living off the cultural trust fund that it didn't earn, didn't build, has no idea how to manage, is totally dicked up. And Trump sees through that. Trump actually, he had a father who had some money, and he took it and he made it exponentially more.
Yeah.
And, these guys see Donald Trump and they see everything they want. They want to be just as ostentatious as him. They want a wife just as pretty. They want as much money. And Donald Trump has it. And he's basically, I have it because I'm better than you in every way.
Right.
And it drives them nuts. You look at these sexless drones like Jim Acosta, who was probably,
Brian Stelter.
Brian Stelter, who was probably the treasurer of the chess club.
The eunuch.
And the eunuch. And all the time, Don's banging cheerleaders 2 at a time behind the locker room.
Well,
and
Brian
bitterly masturbating to the cover of John Carter of Mars book in the library.
I'm gonna steal Mark Dice, but Brian's sitting there doing reliable sources. You know what? He doesn't respect the office at all. I just can't believe it.
Fucking stuff, dude. Imagine you woke up and you were Brian Stelter.
No, I won't do that.
That's like, just imagine that. You'd be like, look in the mirror. No.
Did you happen to see my buddy's video, Power Tie, that he did? It was 2020, the movie.
Yes, I just watched it. It was
Oh God, that was so good.
magnificent.
Yeah,
It was so good.
so good.
Boy, the thing is, the left truly can't meme. And they
Oh
can't
no, they
meme
can't.
because they have no sense of humor. And they have no sense of humor because they take themselves so agonizingly seriously.
Yeah.
If they accepted the possibility of laughter, and they don't, you look at the late night shows and they're not laughing at jokes. They're applauding in
Yeah,
solidarity.
there's more applause than there is laughter anymore.
Yeah, it's solidarity. I did a bit. Rick Wilson had me come with him to when he was on Bill Maher,
Yeah.
I'm sitting in the audience and Maher's out there and they're applauding. I'm like, he's a comic. He's supposed to be funny. What the fuck?
Right.
But they're not funny. We are funny.
Well, they can't laugh at all at themselves, and that's what makes.
So they can't laugh at anything.
Yeah. If you can't laugh at yourself, then what are you going to do?
Ourselves
Oh,
this whole time.
Right.
The drink, the book, which is 21 Lies About Donald Trump and You, which you should get. Me knocking the table off the dog. I mean, we're fucking with ourselves too. And if you don't do that, you can't be funny. There is no comic out there who thinks he is beyond laughter and is any damn good.
Well, and so like the late night guys, they're all just the worst now. Like
and they're terrified.
And they're terrified of getting canceled. So they weren't funny for like the last 3 years, but now they're scared. So they're even less funny than they were the previous like 3 years.
I don't know if Saturday Night Live is still on. I kind of assume it is. It just sort of never dies.
So they did an episode. They did an episode 2 months ago where they all did skits in their houses, and it was the worst thing you've ever seen.
Oh my God, that just sounds horrible.
The
thing is, if they had any balls, they would be wall to wall fucking with cancel culture and Black Lives Matter.
Oh yeah.
If they had any balls at all, they would have done a show in blackface and not commented on it.
So this
just walk out in blackface the whole time and not comment on it, and that would have just been the most fucking subversive thing. And if you suggested it to them, they would look at you like you were in fucking sane. Right.
So here's how far we've come as far as like comedy has just dying. There is a video from The Onion from 2010 or 2012, and it is called "Kill All Grabblers," I believe it is, and it's this Onion thing. It's like this Onion broadcast where they are they're talking about money, and they're like, this lady has this new book out about how to visualize money. And she's like, I like to imagine that all my problems are this little hook-nosed creature that I call the Grabbler. And it's clearly a picture of a Jew, like drawn.
Oh my God.
But like they did this and they put it out there. Like the whole thing is just, it's perfectly funny. But like they're making fun of themselves, and they're making fun of like racists and anti-Semitic people.
Yeah.
And you could not put that out today. If you put that out today, you would be canceled so hard.
Try making Blazing Saddles.
Oh, no, you couldn't. You couldn't even make the opening to Blazing Saddles, let alone the whole movie.
Well, it's just, I mean, it's ironic in one sense, if you believe in facts and evidence and law and reason, that a movie that clearly did more to convince people of the inherent idiocy of judging people by their race than Blazing Saddles. But of course, what they're doing has nothing to do with any of that. This is purely a power grab. They would be vicious traditional racists, not the fake, everybody from Northern Europe is secretly racist. I know, because I read it in a fucking unreadable book. Nonsense. I mean, really, they would absolutely be that if that's what it's. You can tell, because look at what happens on Twitter when a black conservative comes out.
Right.
And it is they go full Robert Byrd.
Well, you couldn't make Spaceballs. You couldn't make any of those movies. Any of the traditional
Part 1.
You couldn't do Airplane. You couldn't make Airplane. Airplane would be like canceled within a day.
Oh God. Yeah. I have enough hope to believe there's going to be a backlash. There's already, in the Soviet Union, they had samizdat. They would have secret presses, a secret group of artists who would
Right.
write things that were forbidden. We already, lucky for us, we have technology that allows us to do it at a much bigger rate. You do a great job of it.
Oh, I did.
And,
I don't do it anymore.
well, not on Twitter.
Yeah.
You'll be back. But I think I think they're going to try so hard to stamp it out that people are just going to get enraged. And you can see there's a little bit of pushback. There was that tepid letter, maybe free speech isn't all bad, signed J.K. Rowling.
Right.
And of course, a bunch of them got yelled at and like repudiated this.
Well, they all
tepid endorsement.
They all got white out, and they erased their names from the list after they're like, we shouldn't cancel everybody, and then it was like, we're going to cancel you, and they're like, I didn't sign that. I'm sorry. That was
I didn't know someone I slightly disagreed with was going to sign it.
It's going to be, I think it's going to be the comics and the comedians that'll
be the first thing.
They'll be the first ones because they're the most irreverent people out there.
Well, and the ones who it'll be are the ones who aren't successful yet. Remember, their weapon against you in this whole social cancellation thing is that you have something to lose.
Right. So it'll be the up and comers. It'll be the people that are like, I don't care. And they will rise to popularity through it.
Guy who calculates, I don't have anything, so I got none to lose. They'll do it, but you're not going to. Sarah Silverman. No, she's not going to do it. I don't know.
She was hunting.
God, I'm trying to think of comics.
Do you remember Sarah Silver when she was hunting Nazis? You remember that? She was walking. She was walking down the street and she saw what she said were swastikas, and they turned out to be surveyor marks. Like somebody was coming, a surveying crew was coming through, and she was like, "Who are these Nazis that are putting stuff on the sidewalk just outside my house?"
Let me ask you a question. Have you ever actually met a Nazi?
I have never met a Nazi. I've never met a white supremacist.
I saw Robert Spencer walk into a place I was in once.
Yeah.
And a bunch of us wanted to kick his fucking ass. But that's like the closest I've ever been to a Nazi. Now,
he's not even a real Nazi either. Like he's like half a Nazi.
Well, I mean, Nazis typically weren't as fat as he was. They were in a little better shape. And
I've never heard what's his name, the KKK guy, speak. I've never even seen a video of his anywhere.
Have you ever been at a party and had someone come up and like kind of look both ways and go, "Hey man, it'd be great, an American Hitler."
You know what we should do? We should go get the Jews.
That guy? When did that happen?
Yeah, like you're at a party and you're having a drink, and then somebody's like, "We should go get the Jews. Let's go get the Jews," and you're like, "What?
What about that?"
Like that has never happened.
It's never come up.
Well, who was it that somebody put on like the Nazi thing on and tried to get into a Trump rally and got kicked out?
Yeah, that's pretty typical.
So I mean, like, it's not happening,
dude. If you showed up at a Trump rally and you started like hassling black folks there for being black, dude,
it's not gonna happen.
Your ass would be kicked.
Yeah.
There's some guy with a beard who was in Vietnam and he beat the shit out of you and say, "Your daddy ought to have done this." And he'll pick the fuck out of you.
Exactly.
It's just not gonna happen.
If you were a black person or a Jewish person or any other group, the most likely person to harass you at a Trump rally is a protester.
Absolutely.
100%.
Oh, there's
yeah. It's not even close.
Yeah, and I don't want to correct liberals. I can't because they're not subject to evidence and facts and stuff. No. As I explain in my book, The 21 Biggest Lies About Donald Trump and You, which you shall buy. So I don't feel like I'm interrupting my enemy when he's making a mistake. But you guys don't understand how conservatives think.
Yeah.
Conservatives don't. There is nothing that makes a conservative happier than being proven right by someone in a minority who is a minority group succeeding beyond his dreams. We love that. We
Yeah.
eat that up. That makes our freaking day for several reasons. But the practical reason is, it proves we're right. We adore that. And they just don't get it.
Even to the point of being cringy sometimes, where we're like any person that is black that says, I believe in American values. We're like, oh, yes. Like,
well, look, Americans are naturally nice people. This idea of the ugly American is stupid. I lived overseas, a number of years, and I saw Americans interact with foreigners, particularly military guys who didn't have to take shit, okay, because they had big guns. They did not have to take shit, but they always did. They were always very nice. Here's a story that sums up Americans. Let's end on a positive note.
Yeah, let's do that.
I was at Camp Bonsteel in Kosovo, and I was doing civil affairs stuff. I would go out, I would deal with the locals and stuff. We would have armed infantry units, just patrols, go out and just patrol, presence patrols. And these were young American guys, most of them reservists, heavily armed, fully combat ready, and they'd go out into towns and stuff and come back. And we would let them go, and they'd go out under a non-commissioned officer. Well, naturally, being Americans, they would stop at schools and things and such and meet people. And that was we wanted to meet the locals so they would like us and tell us things we needed to know and make sure stop trouble before it started. In fact, they did. We never shot a single person in the 16 months we were deployed or activated, and we did a good job on our mission. But anyway, one day I get this. The general's like, Kurt, I need you to go fix something. I'm like, what do you need, sir? Well, they're having trouble at the post office. Well, the post office. Every military has a unit. There's a couple soldiers there who handle all the mail for about 2,000 guys. Right, so I go to the post office. Place is fucking packed. There's boxes to the roof. I'm like, what the fuck? Why don't you guys turn this stuff around? I say, sir, every time we turn this around and get these things distributed, more come in. I do a little investigating. Our guys have gone out to these schools and things, saw that the kids didn't have stuff, wrote back home to like
for the stuff they needed. Yeah.
Schools, little leagues. Hey, can you send balls, papers, pencils, toys, clothes? And we're just bombarded by that. We literally could not. Americans heard these kids who nobody knew what an Albanian or a Serbian was. They'd never seen one. We didn't know any of this. Hell, none of us knew they existed before we got sent over there. And suddenly the place is packed to the rafters with supplies from Americans to total strangers simply because they need help. Well, let's. Hey guys, after church, everybody, we're gathering stuff up. Sergeant Bill's son Tony is a sergeant in Kosovo, and he says those kids need school supplies. You got it, and you got 50 boxes.
Right. Well, that's America. That's America right there. And
so that's why sometimes we are so friendly. It is cringy, but you know what? Cringy's a lot better than fucking bloodthirsty.
It is. Well, obviously. But
not to the left.
Well, no, not to the left. But I mean, like America, just to completely go full circle here. That was what I was trying to point out in that video that got me banned from Twitter. Was that America is not the problem. It's the news, and it's how people are seeing it.
Exactly.
And what's so ironic about that was that the point of it was to show how you can take something that's really beautiful and turn it into something ugly just by flipping the script on it. And then they didn't even show the last half of it. They only showed the beginning. So they did exactly what I had said that they would do. And
of course.
America's a great place, and I don't I don't take kindly to that type of death to America, which is what it is.
And the piece that you use, the little thing of the kids hugging, that's just lovely. And that really sums up America a lot more than the assholes you see on the video. And I think your critique of the media was brutal and appropriate and frankly brilliant.
It was pretty brutal. But
and it was effective, and that's why I got banned.
Yeah. Well, so what was the book again? One more time.
Oh! Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah,
It's the 21 Biggest Lies About Donald Trump and You, which you should go buy on Amazon right now. Go buy it. so
Well,
I get another book contract. And
Kurt,
yes, somebody had a Kelly Turnbull question. I'm going to be writing Crisis, and it may have expanded to 2 books.
well, there you
And
go.
then I have a 3rd one in mind too. So I've got a lot of writing to do.
Breaking news: 3 more. Kurt has just agreed to 3 more books.
Hey, come on. That's only 270,000 words.
It seems like a lot. That seems like a lot.
That's a lot of words.
That's a lot of words.
That's
All
a
right,
lot of words.
So I really appreciate you coming on here with 10 minutes notice.
No problem.
So
I
know
hope
what?
I have been useful.
you have been useful. We did a show. I wasn't sure I was going to be able to do a show, and we did one. So we proved that we can do a show even with 10 minutes notice. But thank you for coming on.
Who do you think will be able to make it up as he goes along? Schlicter.
Yeah, who do I think is not doing anything right now?
Oh, great. Well, I'm going to go spend some time with the fam. So.
All right. Well, thank you
a
for
lot,
joining
man.
me. Yep, I'll see you.
Thanks for everybody listening in. You guys are awesome.
I'll see you later, man.
Adios.
All right. So there you go. That was a show. That we just did a show right there. That was a show. So before I sign off, talk to you guys a little bit about what's coming up. After I get done with this, I'm gonna probably go yell at Milo. And we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. But Monday I will be talking to Roger Stone at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. Roger Stone, Monday, on all of these channels, so make sure you follow and all that stuff. Talk to you a little bit about different social media here. I've got locals, which I now have that all set up. The community is all set up. Something you can do. You can subscribe for free, and if you would like to add content to my locals community, you can do that for I think it's $5. I'll also put some exclusive content on there. I've got this is actually streaming on 4 platforms. It's currently on Facebook, it's on Periscope, it's on DLive, and it is streaming to CloutHub. CloutHub has a whole dedicated channel just to this show, which is awesome. Thank you, CloutHub, for doing that. They have an app. I would suggest downloading it from the App Store. It's different than Parler. I'm using Parler a lot right now, and using CloutHub some too. But it's a different feel. It's a little more polished, I would say. More of sort of like a Facebook / Twitter combine with a lot of tools too. You got tools like video. You can add videos and images and all that kind of stuff to things pretty easily. They also have groups there on CloutHub. So those are a couple platforms I've been using. Parler is obviously one that a lot of people are using now, and I am definitely on there. But I have dropped my YouTube. If you went to my YouTube today, you would see it's basically just a screen that says, "Hey, go watch me on these other channels." So I'm doing that for Twitch and YouTube right now because I'm not real happy with them. They've kicked off some of my friends. So somebody asked Roger Stone tomorrow. No, Roger Stone is on Monday. His schedule didn't allow for an interview for tomorrow, so I've got him at 2:30 on Monday. It's a clout like gaining clout. CloutHub. You can find it on the App Store. So I'm gonna we had some technical difficulties there at the beginning. Not only with the guest, but with my streams didn't go up when they were supposed to. So my intro got like caught, like they got all messed up. I don't know. So I'm gonna play you guys out with the intro. And thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys for sure Monday at 2:30 with Roger Stone. But I'll let you know if I'm going to do something in like tomorrow or something. All right, guys. Thank you very much, and I will see you later.
Welcome to Carpe's Corner. So happy that you're here. So take a seat, have a tea, or grab yourself a beer. Here at Carpe's Corner, we'll learn about our lives. And in between, you might decide to exercise your rights. It's Carpe's Corner. Carpe's Corner. Welcome to Carpe's Corner.